Hi everybody, I'm illustrator John McCoy. Thanks so much for watching. Before we start off, please hit that subscribe button as I'm always releasing new content, and we'd love to have you join us. So as I said, I'm illustrator John McCoy. I'm based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and today this is my 40th, that's a milestone, daily drawing exercise of the year 2020. I'm doing a drawing every single day to practice and build confidence and to learn and grow as an artist. For this one, I set up a still life from live observation. I drew using Prismacolors and an 18 by 24 sketch pad, drawing pad I should say. And these Prismacolors are fantastic for color observation, learning color, value, etc., etc., all of the basics of drawing. So this one is my longest drawing yet out of all 40 so far. It is 3 hours, 3.5 hours from direct observation. I do believe that direct observation is the best way to learn. Setting up a still life, working from the figure, working from landscapes. Yes, this is the best way to learn. Why? Because it's three-dimensional. So you're studying three-dimensional information. You're studying real life. So you're not shorting yourself on anything. Photography, you only get one angle, and there's lens distortion and lighting distortion. There's distortion, let's say. So direct observation. Now, I will say that no pain, no gain. That's the topic I want to address in this video. For one, no pain, no gain because, okay, James Gurney, for instance, he's a really amazing illustrator, and I look up to him as one of my role models. He's a very successful illustrator, and he does a lot of YouTube stuff, and he talks about how he suspects people may think that it comes easy to him. But the truth is, one time he talked about one of his videos, he was talking about how it's actually like flying a plane up through a fog. You can't see anything. And he was referring to the initial stages of a drawing, getting the proportions down, getting things down. He says that every one of his paintings, pretty much every single one, every single drawing he does goes through an ugly stage. And I can say the same thing, and I'm sure most artists would say the same thing, is that there's always an ugly phase in a painting or a drawing that tests their faith. And now another interesting thing is that my faith in God and my faith in art line up perfectly. Faith itself is an act that spreads through your entire being. It's impossible to have faith in one thing and not faith in all good things at the same time. What I mean by that, it should be self-evident, but if it's not, when I'm struggling with a drawing, and I exercise faith that it will come through, that the vision will come through. At the same time, my own spiritual faith in God grows. It's very interesting, but it just goes to show you that we have integrity as people, and that our modes of being and our exercises in life build us all around. And for me, obviously, as an artist, because I'm so called by God to be an artist, it makes it even truer for me that this is part of who I am, and I've been drawing a lot of my life, and so the two meld together. I meld in with the art. My skill sets, my confidence bleeds through. So when I become more confident in my drawing, I become more confident as a man, and I become more confident in general. So this is one of the fantastic things I'm coming to learn and gain from these daily drawing exercises is confidence, but among it, many other things. But obviously I'm getting to the point, and I have a long time to talk because this is a longer video because I spent more time on my drawing. I get to talk longer. Not that I necessarily enjoy talking, but again, this is an exercise of faith, and it's an exercise of confidence building and just talking about my process. So I would definitely agree with James Gurney that every painting or drawing goes through an ugly phase. An ugly phase basically means it's challenging the artist to live with this piece and help it through that ugly phase, to not abandon it, but to help it grow. It's almost like a child. Yeah, it's like a child. So you're helping your child to grow into its full, beautiful being. And for this drawing, it's the hardest point is the drawing phase in the initial process where you're getting the drawing down. I always do a thumbnail. That helps me significantly to make sure that I'm going to be able to fit everything that exists in my composition on the page. So what I do is I take a small sketchbook that's approximately the same aspect ratio as the larger drawing pad, and that way I know that if I translate this using a thirds grid from the small sketchbook to the large drawing pad, that I will generally not run off the page with the things I want to put in the drawing, on the paper, which is the drawing. So for this one, I quite randomly selected toys from our house. These are toys that my nephews have played with, my nieces perhaps. Now I have 2 nieces. As you can see, one of the recent drawings I've done is of my new niece, so that's really cool. You should check it out. But yeah, I want to go for color because color is an animal in and of itself, something to practice. Values are something to practice. Color is something to practice. So it's really tricky, and it builds your skill to keep working at it regardless of, intimidation or anything you feel as you approach drawing. Drawing can be intimidating, painting can be intimidating. And really, drawing is the foundation of painting, they teach us in art school. And so knowing that, how to draw and how to do proportions correctly, etc., and all the principles of drawing is essential for painting. So by drawing every day, I am growing as an artist. And I can feel and sense the growth. Couple of things I've noticed is that, one, it's now become a habit and I crave it. I crave, just like any other habit you would have, you sort of have a craving for doing the thing that is a habit for you. So I actually feel like my day is not quite complete if I were to skip the drawing. And I haven't yet, and I won't. But Sundays are nice because they afford a little more time to get into a longer drawing, and there are new things you learn with longer drawings. And the reward and the payoff is great. To be able to see something come to life in full color is very rewarding. You'd be almost skimping yourself, I should say. That's the word I'm looking for. You would almost be skimping yourself to start a very large drawing and not finish it. Although skill-wise you wouldn't, you still get the hand-eye coordination, but like you're missing out on the reward of like, wow, I've brought this thing to fruition. It's very nice looking. And I've achieved something, and you can visually see that, and that bolsters your confidence and helps to really give a sense of like accomplishment that you've learned what you've learned, even though you've already learned what you've learned. In any drawing, any amount of drawing is good and healthy. But yeah, so I just randomly selected objects for a still life, and the idea behind that is that it doesn't matter what I'm drawing, I'm always learning, especially if I'm drawing from life. Photographs aren't bad. They do offer some information, and I can learn from that. But it's incredible experience to draw from life because of three-dimensional information and understanding that you're seeing the full reality and you're making the use of your talents completely and thoroughly. And just, I would say one thing, if I was going to, this is completely random, but if I was going to write a review of the Prismacolors I'm using, the only frustrating thing is that the tips break off. So I'm inclined, and I know that it happens more with certain colors. Certain colors are more resilient, some are a little more fragile. And so that, again, is just another way of learning. There's so many pathways that I'm learning through these drawings. And I would say can be frustrating when you're sharpening a pencil and then you put it to paper and it breaks the second it touches the paper. That's unfortunate. That's super unfortunate. But you do learn, like, okay, I'm not going to sharpen this guy as much as the one that can take it. Some pencils have more hardness to them. Some are less or more brittle. And that's just part of the learning the media. So there are so many facets to drawing. There's the media, there's the shading, there's proportions, there's shape and form. Shape is the general contour of something. Form is the three-dimensional information that comes to life as you add perspective information to a shape. Yeah, so many things, so many fundamentals I'm working on. I will say that when I began this drawing, for whatever reason, because I think I used the ink drawing, yesterday's ink drawing, I put the drawing surface almost flat because the gravity assist, that's a funny phrase in general, gravity assist, but I do believe that the fountain pens when dipped, the crow quills when dipped in ink, when you draw with them, gravity does sort of, although it has a lot to do with water tension, but I think gravity does, because if you're drawing on a vertical surface with these crow quills, I don't think it works very well. I could be wrong. So anyways, for whatever reason, getting to my point was, for this drawing, I tried to draw it horizontally, and there's a lot of distortion that happens when you do that. So I changed the drawing surface, and that fixed everything up. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you guys. I hope there's some artists out there watching this and being encouraged to draw every day. You know who you are, as they say. God bless you guys. Take care. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video with family and friends. Check it out. There's more content to come. Bye-bye now.